You are exactly where you're supposed to be. If you're feeling behind and delayed in life, this episode is exactly for you. Hello, everyone. Welcome to our Statics podcast. Thank you for tuning in again. I appreciate that you're here because it says so much about your commitment to becoming the best versions of yourself. So, without further ado, let's get into our episode for today. So, I wanted to start this episode with my personal story, which would be the first time that I'll be sharing one of the most vulnerable stories of mine. I think I am ready enough to share these stories of mine. So, June 2024, I graduated senior high school. And the same year, month of August, I guess, that's when a time that I was informed that I wouldn't be able to continue my college right away. And that's really the most heartbreaking point in my life. I actually silently cried every single day because for someone who is really valuing education, like working hard to achieve outstanding awards at school, and for the context, I finished my senior high school graduating with high honors. So for someone who really value educations as much as I do, you would understand where I'm coming from. So that also means that I get to find job right away and really make sure not to waste 1 year or a year in my life. And yes, that's exactly what happened. I get to make my 1 year meaningful. That 1 year is my groundbreaking year for the person I have become today. For 6 months, I get to find a work that been able to provide us food and been able to pay bills and at least save even a small amount of money. And for another 6 months, I get to focus and pour that to myself. Building routines, habits, disciplines, and most importantly, I build myself, where I get to be in my life until today. But going back, those journeys was never easy. To be honest, it was brutally hard that I go to work wearing t-shirts and pants because I hide my uniforms or my work uniforms inside my bags as well as my ID laces. So when I bumped into my batchmates or even my friends, they wouldn't know about my situations. Yes, I am so afraid to be judged even by my friends. So when they get to ask about my studies, I get to say that I'm doing well, I'm doing fine. Because that time, I'm not really ready to share that part of me or that side of my story. But the lesson I've learned from that after sharing those stories to my friend is that take your time. Share whenever you're ready to tell that stories of yours. You don't need to lie or create another stories of you just because you're not ready to share it yet. Just can honestly say what you're going through, or you can just simply say you're not ready to share it yet. And the most important thing that I've learned is that you call them friends for a reason. They're there to listen to you, not to judge you. And they're there to support you, not to make you feel more worse about yourself or your situation. My story of feeling that I was behind in life was actually the very moment that builds and shaped me. I just finished my first year college last June, acing my grades in all of the subjects. Because of my delayed season, I get to value my education even more. So please don't miss the blessings just because you think you're delayed in your life. Along with my consistent academic achievements, I get to also be so consistent with my routine, such as working out, running, journaling, meditating, listening to podcasts, and the newest was actually producing my own podcast, where you're listening today, and so many more. Yes, I get to balance it all, and without that delayed season, I don't think I'm well equipped to be this person I am today. So there's a beauty in being delayed, and there's a beauty in not being part of the human expected timeline. So here's your reminder to stop following the social clock set by our society, that there's this invisible checklist that you're supposed to achieve by a certain time or by a certain age. Like you need to graduate by 22, get married by 30, and so on. We are all walking on a different path. Where you're going is not everyone we're heading. Your journey is yours and yours alone. You are not behind or delayed in life. You are at the right place, at the right time, with the right people. So, with that being said, let's go into the three reasons that you are not behind or delayed in life, because you are exactly where you're supposed to be. So let's start with the first one. There is no universal right timeline. The biology and psychology agree. So this is backed up by developmental psychology, Arnold Jessel, maturation theory, and the concept of individual growth tempo. I want you to think about this way. No two flowers bloom at the exact same minute. There's no trees that grow tall on the same exact schedule. Science tells us the same true for us. Our brains and our skills and our milestones unfold according to our own internal rhythm, not a calendar someone else made up. Some of us learn to walk earlier and some find purpose later, and neither is wrong. Podcaster Jay Shetty puts this perfectly. You're not late, you're not off track. You're simply arriving on your own timeline, and that timeline is right on time. When I had to pause college, I thought I was falling behind everyone else's. But I was actually just growing in a different way, building resilience and gratitude and many things in my life. We compare our chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 5 and call it lagging behind. But there's no single rule book for how life should be written. Your pace is yours, and it is exactly what you need at this time of your life. So let's get into the second reason. Detours are not delays, they are the preparation. This is backed up by neuroplasticity research, Seneca's Stoic philosophy, and Malcolm Gladwell's 10,000 hour rule. The philosopher Seneca once said, luck is what happens when preparations meets opportunity. Those seasons you think are wasted time, those are your preparation days. Science confirms our brains keep reshaping and strengthening new connections at any age. Every struggle, every quiet moment, and every lesson you learn is building the foundations for what comes next. My 1 year away from school wasn't actually a pause. It was a workshop. It was a building phase. I've learned how to show up even when I was scared. I learned how to show up even when things aren't going the same exact way as I thought it could be. How to stretch what I have and how to choose myself when no one else was watching. If I had gone straight to college right away, I might have taken my classes for granted. But because I waited, I show up with my whole heart. As the saying goes, what you learn in the detour becomes the wisdom you need for your destination. Allow me to repeat that. What you learn in the detour becomes the wisdom you need to your destination. You aren't losing time. You're gathering the strength you'll need to go farther you've ever imagined. So let's get into the last one. You are exactly where you're supposed to be. Comparison is not your timeline. It's someone else's highlight reel. So this is backed up by social comparison theory and the arrival fallacy in psychology. Here's the truth. We often forget that we only see the polished and finished parts of other people's lives. We don't see their late nights, their second guessing, or their own delays. We feel behind because we measure our messy, unfinished journey against someone else's best moments. Philosopher Heraclitus taught us no man ever steps in the same river twice. Your path is unique because you are unique. What looks like success for you or for someone else may not even fit your hands or your dreams or even your heart. When I stopped checking where my batchmates were heading, I started focusing on where I was growing. That's when the things started falling into place. That you are not racing against someone else. You are simply becoming you, and there's no late for that. You are exactly where you're supposed to be. So today, I want you to take a deep breath in and slowly breathe out. If you're sitting there feeling like you're falling behind, like your life is moving too slow, or like everyone else has figured it out while you're still trying to find your way, I've been exactly where you are. I lied about my plans. I carried over a timeline that wasn't even mine to keep. But that delay didn't break me. It built me. It gave me the grit to show up harder, the gratitude to value every lesson, and the courage to walk my own path without looking over my shoulder. There is no finish line someone else has set for you. There's no too late for the dreams written in your heart. The season you're in right now, even it feels so empty, even it feels so slow, that is exactly what you need to become the person you're meant to be. You are not late. You are not lost. You're growing, healing, and arriving perfectly, beautifully on your own timeline. Thank you so much for listening to this episode. If this story touched you, share it with someone who needs to hear this story. Until next time, I'd love to hear your thoughts, your learnings, and what you want to hear more from me. I love you, I'm proud of you, and I'm rooting for you. Until then, see you on the next episode. Bye!